Here we go. Find perfect basketball camps, a parent's step-by-step guide to learning, finding, and saving money on basketball camps. Today, we're getting into Module 8, the last step on our gather step. We've come a long way since Module 5. We've gone over a lot, and this is the last thing we'll go over for gathering, collecting those basketball camps. We'll be navigating a Google search the right way today. Very excited to show you what you can find out there and show you some tips on finding those camps. But quickly, a recap of last module. We walked through and learned about the National Elite and Showcase camps, went into the details of what each meant, shared my screen, gave you some tips on navigating each of those types of websites, gave you my 2 cents on Showcase camps too. If you remember, I recommended waiting until the camper is older to attend those camps and instead focus on training and camps that will increase their basketball IQ, which is really the most important thing that they can be doing, especially at a young age. Module 8, today's game plan. We're going to do that good old-fashioned Google search for basketball camps. I'm going to share my screen, walk you through a couple different searches, and in these searches I'm going to show you all kinds of tips that will save you time. Because believe me, I've wasted the time. I've done so many Google searches. I don't even want to think how many I've done to find camps in different areas. And that's how I picked up these tips, is through my own trial and error. And hopefully I can spend the next 10 minutes to teach you what I picked up so you can save hours of time over the next several years when you're doing these searches. Before we jump into the Google search though, I want to talk about when you'll want to do one. You're going to want to do one if we've done the previous steps and you haven't found any camps, or you haven't found enough camps. The Google search is great if you live in a smaller city. If you can't find enough camps where you live, it's also great for looking for camps at local rec centers, colleges, high schools, camps where they're not really listed on any websites that you can find. It's also a great safety net in case you overlook any national, elite, college camps in any of the previous steps, which is definitely possible, especially if you're doing it for the first time or in a rush. It's a great safety net tool. Here's a quick pro tip. Hopefully you've written down or typed all of the camps you've previously looked at, because you definitely want to do that because you don't want to waste your time looking at these camps again. If you've already looked at a national camp like a Nike camp or some of these colleges, you can look at your list and say, hey, I've already looked at that. I don't need to do it again. Today's rookie mistake: visiting all of these summer camp sites. When you do a Google search for your area, you're going to come across all kinds of websites that claim to list summer camps. And they do list summer camps, but the problem is they list all of the national big basketball camps that we've already looked at. And they do this because the camps will actually pay for them to be listed in their directory. That's what makes my site a little bit different, is I post the links for free. That's not my business model, is collecting money from camps to post their links. So a lot of these sites are going to be duplicates, and they're going to be information you already looked at because we actually went directly to the source and checked out information on those sites. And they're most likely a waste of time because you've already looked at it, and I'll show you why they're possibly a waste of time. You can always look at them to see if there's some camps you missed, but I'll show you what you'll be looking at in a few minutes. Second rookie mistake: we have 2 rookie mistakes today, and that's if you live in a small city, only doing a Google search in that small city. You also want to search the cities close by that you may be interested in to travel to for camp. Google won't pick up those basketball camps in the cities next to you. Just not that smart yet as a search engine. Maybe one day, maybe they'll be able to read your mind, but it's not there just yet. I lived in a really small city growing up. Not many basketball camps, maybe one basketball camp at a local rec center. But I lived in North Tampa, and to find the quality basketball camps at the colleges, larger colleges, we had to go to Tampa and do basketball camps in Tampa instead of the city I lived in, because really I was in a small city surrounded by a lot of other cities, and Google doesn't know this. They don't pick up on that. It's hard for it to break down and figure out what city and what you're maybe interested in. What's your radius of basketball camps? So you're going to have to branch out yourself and do those searches manually. So that wraps up the 2 rookie mistakes. We're going to go ahead and jump into the Google search and share my screen. All right, here we are in Google. I went ahead and did the search for basketball camps in Tampa up here, and you'll see first thing that pops up are the ads. A lot of these ads will be big time wasters because there'll be general basketball camps like you see right here, Panda Hugs Summer Camp. I don't know if Panda Hugs is going to be the basketball camp you're looking for unless that's a team mascot. Pandas giving away hugs, but a lot of these you'll see here's a basketball workout. You'll have recruiting camp. I'm not quite sure what that is. Connects scouts with basketball. You can click on that and learn on that if you want. Dream Shapers. I don't think any of these are camps you're going to be really interested in. Free basketball workshop. You can click on things like this. Let's just see what's available, what this ad is offering. And so it's just a pretty bad ad. I would be pretty upset if I was paying for this, if I was this company. But it looks like just a site map. If you wanted to spend your time, and these ads are really could be big time wasters. You really want to get down to these camps. And what you see here first off is Tampa boys basketball camps. It's really hard to tell what this is, but when you click on it, you'll see it's going to be the University of Tampa basketball camps. It's actually a standalone site for the University of Tampa. They made their own page here for their camps. That's a good option right there. Tampa Spartans, University of Tampa, again, they're probably listing all their camps. Here's a standalone girls basketball camp page for University of Tampa. So it looks like the first 3 all University of Tampa camps. Here we have the Skill Center training. Looks like it might be more of a personal training, but also for camps. Elite training, it says, for ages 6 to 18. You're going to see a lot of these standalone websites for local trainers in the area. This is a training academy. It looks like it could be a pretty good program for young players. Looks like it's run by Chris Ward. You're going to see you might see many of these in your area, especially if you live in larger cities. Great opportunities. Some of these may be really good opportunities. Tampa Youth Basketball. This could be a directory. Let's check out what we have here. It looks like Tampa Player Development. Another, maybe one of those types of local trainers who has a website. Let's click on basketball camps. But there's no basketball camps, so that is kind of a time waster right there. But you can keep that in mind and check up on, if you see something like that, check up on that later. Here we go, Nike is right here. Probably have already seen that, so you don't need to click on it. Here we have Marvin Harvey Basketball School of Excellence. Sounds pretty cool. Here, a lot of information. Looks like another opportunity for a local camp at this Corbett Preparatory School in Tampa. Here we go. Here's a big time waster. I'm glad this came up. You see this? Hillsboro Summer Camps. Okay, looks great. Well, when you click on it, and you can actually see this right there, note that 2013. It popped up because we have basketball camp in the article. But this article is from 2013. None of this stuff is going to be updated, yet it's on the first page of Google. It's over 2 years old. It's just old information. It'd be very frustrating if you read through all this. You come to articles like this, you can do Control F, type in basketball here, and then they'll pop up right away. You can see which ones are basketball camp related. And even though it's older information, you can get ideas, maybe Tampa Catholic High School, Bloomingdale's boys basketball, Gaither High School. If you live near any of these, they're ideas that you can keep open, although this information is old. So keep in mind when you're looking at these camps to check out for the dates. Another one, old on the first page, which would be brutal if you wasted your time looking at those camps, writing down information. Here we go. Hillsboro summer camps. What do we have here? Looks like a general website about all kinds of camps in Tampa. Again, you can do Control F. Looks like Marvin Harvey, which we already looked at. Out of all that information, there's only one basketball camps. Oh, no, Marvin Harvey, different. The Shot Lab, this looks very interesting, like a really good opportunity again in Tampa for some private training, maybe some basketball camps. You can learn about, this is a great way to just learn about basketball in your area. Let's go to page 2 real quick. We'll go over this. Summer basketball camps, fun for Tampa kids. Here we go. What do we have here? This page lists basketball camps in Tampa. Great. Feature listing. A lot of information, a little messy. Okay. This actually looks like a pretty good resource. Academy Lakes basketball camp, local camp. Academy of the Holy Names, which is a girls-only school. Yep, so this looks like a pretty good resource for anybody in Tampa. It's a directory of, looks like a website for kids events in Tampa. And it's just dedicated to basketball camps. You have the high schools, Baptist church. So this looks like a good camp, and this is an example of really a standalone website that's dedicated just to Tampa, and they actually did it right. And unfortunately, it's not on the first page, it's on the second, so you'd have to do some burying and some quick learning. Here's the Marvin Harvey. Looks like another local camp. And here's an example of those summer camp websites. I said that, so that's in the rookie mistake. Here we go. A lot of IMG, Advantage, Nike, IMG again, all camps we've already looked at. And even so, these camps that are being paid, this camp's in Fort Lauderdale, has nothing to do in Tampa, Miami, Sarasota, Lakeland, that's in Tampa, but NBC, we probably looked at that with Nike already. These camps are all over the place. And they still have several more pages. You can always look through them to maybe get ideas, but again, all camps you've probably looked at, and they're all over the place. Just featured camps that probably paid to get listed, so it could be a big time waster there. Tampa Bay summer camps. Captain U, 2015 Tampa Catholic High School. So again, it's just some more local, a lot of good resources here in Tampa. Let's click on, let's see what we have here. Tampa Bay summer camps. Looks like it's a general camp. You'll see a lot of these general camps that list basketball as something that they can play at their camp, but it's not a dedicated basketball camp. But that'll really wrap up Tampa here. Let's go ahead and hop into Sacramento. I did basketball camps in Sacramento, another city on the West Coast here. Popping up right here. Well, let's quickly go over the ads. Skyhawks, good. Sacramento actually has some good ads here. Skyhawks, looks like they have basketball camps in Sacramento. You can go through and see if there's camps in your area, but these are possibilities. ProSkillsBasketball.com, I know that they are a national organization that puts on camps. Let's see here. Taking you directly to the Sacramento, Folsom. But this is an ad done the right way. They targeted people who are searching for Sacramento, and they have Pro Skills here. And some other basketball camps that you may need to check out for the ads. But over here on the left, they're going to be directly in Sacramento. We have Nike 2015 Sacramento summer camps. Let's see what this is all about. Looks like there's a lot of things going on here. Sports camp. Could be classified as one of those summer sports camp websites. Let's just look for basketball real quick to see what's available here. And it looks like there's only 4, and it's only Nike basketball camp. So this is another one of those classic time wasters. You could look through all these websites, and those are the only 2 on basketball. So you definitely want to do that. Command F or Control F. Type in basketball and search for anything that has basketball on this page, because you could see that there's the first two, and those are right here. DeMarcus Cousins, pro basketball player for the Sacramento Kings. He has a free camp. That's pretty awesome. Free camps, you always want to be a little skeptical of that. You never know. The training might not be that good, but if you can meet DeMarcus Cousins for free, that looks pretty fun. They have some videos you can check out. A lot of the pro players will put on camps in the area. But here's another red flag here I want you to worry about. You read Mike Bibby, who's a ex-Sacramento Kings player. Go ahead and click on this. Again, check out this 2014. This was published 2014. This is over a year old. And you can click on a link to see if it's available. If you didn't catch that, you click on it and you take to this website where you're totally confused. There's all of these camps in Washington, Oregon, Washington. Big time waster here because it's an old site. Mike Bibby might not even be putting on a camp anymore. If you really want it, it looks like just scrolling through. Not a lot going on here. So again, that's another old article that you want to check out. See when these things are listed. Big time waster. Here we have active. We can jump into there real quick. I'm not sure what they're going to have available. Usually they do leagues, and maybe it's just for leagues and tournaments. No, there's some summer camps here. Maybe some possibilities in areas where you live. Active here, Hoop It Up basketball camp, and then they also have leagues. It's a possibility to look at here. Active might be a good resource. Here we go, getting into a college here, Sacramento State. They have a standalone website. Looks like a pretty good setup here. 4 different camps, boys, varsity team camps, youth camps. Good opportunities here. Sacramento Skills Academy looks like a local training opportunity. Looks pretty good. Sacramento State, again, it's going to be a duplicate of here. It's probably just their college website where they list all of their camps. Here we have a high school camp, which would be great if you're looking for those high school camps. Another school camp, Advantage, National, I'm Possible is popping up. And you can click on these always to learn more. Skyhawks, which was actually advertised, and they're advertised right here as well. Sacramento Kings. Here's something interesting I want you to look at. You might get really excited. Click on this. Open this up. Looks like a brochure, but look at this. 2011. I mean, holy moly. Looking at 5 years old here. Almost 5 years old. Big time waster if you looked over that. But what's amazing is that's so old, but it's on the middle of the second page on your Google search. You think that it would be way down on the list, but it is not. Point Guard College here. And you'll also see Facebook pages popping up. Jason Thompson Elite Camp here. You can go to Facebook pages and learn more. Some of these players or trainers are just starting out, and they'll make an event on Facebook. They don't have a website set up yet, so you can check out Facebook for any events there. Here's another university that has camps. Here again, check it out. 2013, couple years old. Yep, just old information. 2013. You can always contact these people to see if there's a camp available this year. But again, look for those dates. And then again, Mike Bibby talked about it again, but it's a year old, over a year old. Time wasters, a lot of time wasters in here. And that'll really wrap up our search points that you want to remember. Those summer camp links, be aware of those. It's for duplicate information. Check for those old articles on camps or directories that local newspapers put out. They have a lot of good search rankings, but they're old information and not updated, and you definitely don't want to act or record on old information. And then check those camp brochures that popped up, just like we saw for Sacramento Kings. I've seen that a lot, where the articles will pop up and they're old. But again, a lot of good, look out for that bad information, but a lot of good information, a lot of good possibilities to check out training in your area. Hope you picked up some things you can learn, but we will wrap up this module real quick in the slides. Okay, back at it in the slides. That will do it for the Google search. In this module, I gave you a couple rookie mistakes to look out for. Looking out for those summer camp websites, searching for only camps in your city. You want to branch out and see what's close by as well. We did a Google search for a couple different cities, Tampa, Sacramento, and showed you some of the red flags that you want to be wary of, be aware of, so that you don't waste your time when doing those searches. Hopefully these tips will save you a lot of time, many hours over the next several years when you're doing basketball searches for your son or daughter's basketball camp career. Next up, action time, baby. We've done steps 1, 2, and 3. Now we're on to step 4, taking action. It's all about pulling the trigger, getting you to sign up for camp, getting you organized with a great tool I created. It can be used for all sports, not just basketball. It's based off the same scheduler my dad used for me centuries ago, way before Facebook, Instagram, they're going to, way before Snapchat. In the next module, it's my favorite part. I'm going to teach you and give you some advice on how you can save money on basketball camps and get you to earn your money back on this course, which I would love for you to do. I will see you in the next module.